The big story tonight is a Fox News alert. A judge in Texas has now ruled that 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony will not get a new trial after he was convicted of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf back in June. Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison. Let's go now to Max Gordon for the latest developments. Max, this seems like big news. What do you have for us?
Well, many of us was out here waiting patiently to see how this was going to play out, what was going to happen in regards to this Karmelo Anthony case, and we got the news today. I thought that it would take some time and it would come out maybe on Monday, but they came out today and they denied the request for a new trial. Now, everybody got their hopes up high and was hyped when they got the judge to recuse himself. But listen, there's a good old boy network, and they're all operating from that network. And, you know, another win for the W. I believe that this is just their time. You know, we watched our parents, our grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents go through all the same thing, and we get no justice. For us to get justice in this country, we look at all the things that we have to go through, whether it's the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, it don't matter whatever party it is. Both of these groups have been a colossal failure for the development and freedom of black people. It's all been a failure, right? And this is why you have so many sellouts and raccoons, because a lot of our people just give up and run over to those sides because they don't see any daylight when it comes to being with your own people. Because we don't give no forms of justice. We can all clearly see, even if he was guilty of something, what type of time he should have got. But again, man, listen. When it comes to Reese Teller and what happened to her, when it comes to those 3 little girls in that church, when it comes to Emmett Till, I mean, I go on and on and on, thousands of stories, and known and unknown. Well, we don't get no justice. We don't. And black leadership is too weak to get anything done. And I see why our people, we're so spiritual, because we've fallen into a place where the only thing that can come save us is something supernatural and spiritual, because we have the inability to save ourselves. Now, a lot of people will disagree with me. I don't care if you disagree with me. I'm looking outside. I'm looking at the landscape. And I'm looking at what's happening here to us. But there was a lot of hope, and there was people calling out, even W folks, calling out Austin Metcalf's troubled past, and that was ignored by the judge.
At the motion for a new trial today, it came out that the Metcalf twins are exactly who we all knew they were. They're spawns of their racist daddy. They're racist. I'm about to show you all done in their lives, starting at the age of 10. Let's get into it. Cut it off. But they were 10 years old in elementary school when they were arrested for assault charges for bullying a female classmate. 10 years old. The victim accidentally touched Metcalf in the face, angering him, and he proceeded to forcefully shove the girl to the ground using both hands. Does that sound familiar? When you get done watching this video, you can go to my page, just go find the Jeff Metcalf interview and watch it, and you will see that it raised these boys to be just like him. Look what they got 12 months of probation for. Look at this. They were little. They have records from 2023 showing Metcalf bullied a black student and was not disciplined. A month before Metcalf was ordered to stay away from a different black student he was accused of bullying. Several parents of cheerleaders at his high school said the children were afraid of both Hunter and Austin, which we heard that rumor during the trial. Austin was forced to go to a church group for those consumed by anger, lust, and addiction. Text messages from Hunter, Austin's brother, talking about wanting to jump kids from the Independence High School track team. These shitty indie kids talking, let's jump them. You're talking about 2 big 10-year-olds who played football, who were strong, who were violent. This girl that was shoved I told you about earlier, she had to go to the hospital. She was hurt so bad. There was a 2023 incident involving Hunter where he was suspended in an undated incident after he and another student argued and allegedly threatened to the school. We have another incident in which Austin allegedly mocked a black student in 2022 for eating a banana. He filmed another student as he appeared to shove the boy's head into his crotch. Another 2023 incident. Austin cheering as a friend chased and tackled a black student, and Austin is heard saying, "Get over here, you black." Mike Howard told the court that either Austin or Hunter had once grabbed their mother by the throat. At one point, Howard said Anthony witnessed one of the twins getting into a fight with other kids at a basketball game, leading the teen to believe the Metcalf brothers were prone to fighting. It's clear as day the Metcalf boys are large, violent, learned everything with Metcalf. They were violent from the time they were old, pushing girls down to the point they went to the hospital, racist graffiti, harassing black boys the whole time they were in high school. This trial was a joke from start to finish. They didn't go under that tent and say, oh, will you please get out, Karmelo? No, they saw a black boy, they wanted him out, and Karmelo had a reason to fear for it.
So it's not about fairness or what's fair. It's about who's in power, who's in charge, and I'm W and I say so. Nobody cares about your feelings or how you feel, right? Nobody cared about our grandparents' feelings or how they felt, right? And we have a lot easier than they did. But we're still suffering from the same people are still in power, and they don't care nothing about you, right? So when you see this regime come into office and they want to run everything back to the states, well, this is what happens when you run everything back to the states. You have these people that have to govern over you, and I keep telling you, whoever said that they were psychologically fit to govern you, they don't care nothing about you. They're not going to be fair and just. Oh, they care about their people. We can do and say whatever we want to say about you or to you, and you better not do nothing back. And you better like it. Because we're making America great again, and we have to dumb ourselves down just to give you any form of justice. That's what they believe. They believe that if it wasn't for them giving you everything, you wouldn't have nothing. Because if it was up to them, we already know what they would be still doing to you. So now let's look at what Fox News is reporting on this new judge that came to the bench. After he read over all the evidence, he still denied the motion for a new trial.
I'm Joey Jones, along with Tommy Lahren, Alicia Acuna, and David Asman, and welcome to the big weekend show. The big story tonight is a Fox News alert. A judge in Texas has now ruled that 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony will not get a new trial after he was convicted of stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf to death back in June. Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison. Let's go now to Max Gordon for the latest developments. Max, this seems like big news. What do you have for us?
Hey there. Well, the new judge in this case, retired District Judge Micheal Chitty, had until Monday to make a ruling, but it is now being reported that he has ruled before that deadline, denying a retrial in this case. Now, this comes after the original judge in Anthony's murder trial was removed from proceedings. That judge, Judge John Roach, said after the trial during a TV interview that the jury, quote, got it right when they delivered a guilty verdict, and there were questions about his impartiality. Anthony, now 19, was convicted in June of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during an altercation at a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. A Collin County jury sentenced Anthony to 35 years in prison. At the center of this new trial hearing is a verbal agreement between Anthony's original defense team and prosecutors to keep certain character evidence about both sides from the jury. Now, at the time the agreement was made to keep from further inflaming the case, which was already boiling over with racial tension threats, but during this retrial hearing, that evidence was being discussed, and that included allegations that Metcalf had used racial slurs in the past and bullied black classmates, and it also included violent texts from Anthony, including one which read, "When I SB, I'm gonna lick their off the blade." So some disturbing stuff right now, right there. But again, Anthony's motion for a retrial also argued that Anthony's Sixth Amendment right to a public trial was violated because of courtroom restrictions. But again, the defense's arguments clearly not enough to sway the judge. The judge, it's being reported, is denying that retrial. Joey?
Max Gordon, thanks for the update.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Tommy, this is a new development. I guess all week this week we've heard that there may be a new trial. They may push for a new trial because the first judge accused himself for things he said after the trial. But then with that comes this new evidence, I guess. I don't know if it could be used in a new trial, but it seems like it really does hurt the character of Anthony, who was kind of painted to be, a good kid that snapped.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there were reasons in this arrangement, this agreement to keep this character evidence on both sides out of the original trial or out, not to the extent that we have now with some of these text messages. But just from me as a layman, when I look at this body of evidence here, of character evidence about Karmelo Anthony, and you see not only the messages that he sent to his girlfriend, but and other things of that nature, talking about licking the blade, that gives a whole lot of context. And I understand not wanting to have this character evidence introduced for a young man and then, of course, a deceased young man, because, of course, you don't want to bring that into the public sphere, and that's understandable. But there was so much discussion about race in this trial and how Anthony was backed into a corner and he acted in self-defense, and there were so many prominent people, including elected officials, who made that claim. This gives a lot more backstory, and I understand not wanting to bring it in, but it sheds a lot more light on exactly who he is and how this all went down, in my opinion.
David, welcome to the Big Weekend Show.
Thank you so much.
Now, let me tell you guys something. When you listen to these W folks talk, now you get an outstanding understanding for the way that they think, right? Not one time did they talk about Austin Metcalf's background. They didn't talk about the issue he had with the bullying of multiple black kids in the school. That's on the records. The cheerleaders that talked about the bullying. The girl that he assaulted. It's not alleged. It's on the record. They had, going all the way back to 10 years old, they had things that was on the books, but they're not going to talk about that. Because, remember, we live in a W-controlled society. And they get to do what they want to do, and because I said so, right? So what I'm saying is, you could be in your feelings, you could be all emotional. That's not going to change anything. Because what we're going through is the same thing our daddies went through, and same thing his daddy went through, and the same thing his daddy went through. And as you go back, it gets worse. And if you notice something, what are these old people saying? Let's make America great again. Well, when was America great for W, folks? Pay attention, man. Take the emotion out. Pay attention to what's going on around you. You thought he was going to get justice? You think that they're going to give you reparations? Are you serious? From who? These people don't even see you as human beings. You think they give a damn about his crying mother? Huh? Did they care about Emmett Till's mother? Did they care about Dr. King's mother? Did they care about Medgar Evers' mother? And all the countless mothers out here whose sons are unjustly, and then they'll come and say, what about what you do to each other? Yeah, what we do to each other, we still get put away and locked up for it by W judges. What about all the things that you've done to us? And you're still not portrayed in the media in the manner in which you should be. For some reason, you have a history of harming us, and we're the ones that's the threat in the media. How about that? We're the ones that's still not getting justice in these courtrooms. How about that? See, they switched it around. And they got us believing that we are the jiggers. When I get on the elevator, you clutch your purse. When I walk by your car, you lock your car doors. I should run when I see you based off the history. I should wait for the next elevator based off the history. But some way, somehow, they use the media to make all other immigrant groups come here and look at me in the same preconceived notion that they look at me through. That judge recused that other judge from the bench because he already had his decision made up. And y'all, everybody was all hyped, really thinking that they was going to give you some justice. You really thought that these people would give you justice knowing their history. Something's definitely wrong with us. We are definitely delusional. Justice when? Where? Somebody explain. I'm looking for justice. I'm looking for it. Where is it? Where has it been? But you sit up here and argue Democrat, Republican, and all these different groups and all these stupid, frivolous arguments. Open your eyes and look around. Dr. John Henry Clark told us we ain't got no friends. We ain't got no friends. Now, we're just going to wait and see what happens with this Karmelo Anthony's case. We'll see. But if y'all made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.